Is your business struggling? Trying to get your followers up? No problem. You can advertise with us right now. Tap that link above. Now let's get back to the show.
This is iLLANOiZE Radio with Biko, iLLANOiZE Jones, and Pretty Riot. Going down right now.
iLLANOiZE Radio. You're not rocking out with the one and only iLLANOiZE Jones. You're now tuned into the dopest thing since crack cocaine. And we're here. And hey, man, listen, we got a guest today for y'all. I just want to, I need y'all to understand what we got up in here, man. This man's been doing his thing throughout the city, bringing the communities together, having the dopest block party in the city, not just the city, but the world. People travel to Chicago to come to the block party.
Yeah, they do.
And that's something we all need to show love to, man. And I'm excited to talk to him. I know y'all excited to hear him. Y'all, I need y'all to make some noise for Eric Williams. If you can hear it all in the headphones, they cheering real loud for you. Yeah, man. Welcome to iLLANOiZE. Look, I got you.
Thanks, brother.
I got you. There we go. I got you. How you doing, man?
Man, good. Thank you for having me.
Man,
Appreciate it.
It's all love. It's a blessing to have you in here, man. It's an honor because I learned a lot of history from you just by watching real close, because everybody I know get a chance to go to the block parties and get to experience it, and you hear so much about them. I be normally in the radio station like I am right now, doing them, and I just be watching everybody's snaps and the DJs be turned. You have the artwork out, but I like to I take it back, you know, take it back from the childhood, and I would like to know, like, where are you from?
I was actually born in Harvey.
Okay.
Raised in Robbins.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
South suburbs.
South suburbs, man. Born in Ingalls Memorial Hospital, man. So, raised out there. Then at 18, I actually went to school in Northern, in DeKalb.
Okay.
I was there for 3 years.
How was that? Like, how was that?
It was the worst. I hated it. And so I left and I transferred to UIC.
Right.
And then I graduated from UIC.
I was listening somewhere where you said you was raised on a farm.
No, I didn't say it. Well, Robbins is like country. You know, you've been to Robbins before.
Yeah.
So it's not a farm, but it's definitely like not urban. It's not city. So we had a big, huge backyard. No, we didn't have street lights in Robbins, which I think they still don't have street lights, actually.
That's crazy.
Sidewalks. We didn't have any sidewalks. So it kind of mimicked like Mississippi in a way.
Okay.
So
like a country boy.
Yeah, country. It was definitely country. Yeah.
So going all the way to UIC, DeKalb, and leaving DeKalb to go to UIC, and like what was the beginning for you to know that like I wanted to be an entrepreneur, to start my own business and start my own thing?
Well, I think it probably started with my father. He had a bar in Robbins called Manny's Blue Room.
Okay.
So he had this bar for like 40 years. So I grew up in this bar, and I used to recycle cans. I would clean up, just kind of hang out around it, you know. And one of his first DJs was Herb Kent. So, you know, Steppers music was like a big thing back then. And like, so I just kind of saw the power of music and you know, and culture at a very early age. So I grew up in the 80s, man. So, you know, I'm a teen in the 80s.
Oh, yeah. It was different out here than the 80s.
Oh, very different. But that's when house music was like, that was it. So if you were in Chicago and you were that age, you pretty much listened to house music. So I was fascinated by Frankie Knuckles and this other guy, Ron Hardy. So I started going out to parties and just going to like real house music parties and hearing music. I was just like, that was it for me. So I then learned how to DJ.
Right, because I was going to say, I heard you as a DJ as well.
I learned how to spin. I was back I learned how to spin in 82, 83. And just kind of got on the tables a little bit and just loved the culture, you know. And I saw the power of music and how it brought people together. Right. I studied finance at UIC. So when I graduated, but I was also, how I started selling stuff at the Silver Room is UIC, you know, it's next to Maxwell Street. Right. So I started selling stuff on the streets. And I did that for like 10 years. I was selling T-shirts and hats and bags and sunglasses. And eventually I opened up my own store. But because I DJ'd, a lot of my friends were artists, visual artists, writers, graffiti writers, break dancers. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have a retail store, but I'm also gonna have this arts and culture thing inside the store too. Right. So that's kind of how it happened.
So hold on, because you was a DJ, you was selling stuff on the street, you was still going to school for finance, like the hustle.
Hustle is the word, man.
Like the hustle, like you hustling.
I learned it. So I met this guy when I was 19 years old, and he was a hustler. I mean, not in a negative way. Right. He's like, man, you can make money selling stuff on the streets. I'm like, I'm like, what do you mean? You know? And he's like, no, like you can sell hats and peanuts and blah, blah, blah. He showed me this hustle. And we go down and get stuff from the wholesale shops, from a place called My Stales. People, old school people remember My Stales. up on Clark Street. Then we started going out. We started going to New York, Chinatown, 28th Street, buying silver, buying hats, and bringing it back here, just selling it. And that was it for me, man.
Never would anybody ever come and say, yo, Eric Williams used to be a petty handler. What they call him?
A street peddler.
A street peddler.
For 10 years.
For 10 years.
10 years. Man, I put stuff in my car. I got on a Freaknik. We started printing T-shirts.
Hold up. You went to the Freaknik? You was there?
Man, I made a lot of money in Freaknik. I made a lot of money in Freaknik. Selling T-shirts, man.
Like a lot of us ain't never, ever going to experience Freaknik.
Yeah.
Is it like what they say it is?
I went the last 3 years, and yeah. I mean, I actually didn't go to the first ones. I heard it was nice when it started, but I saw it go downhill in those 3 years. And it was kind of wild. I ain't gonna lie, it was kind of wild. And
so we're going to see you in a documentary in a couple of them documentaries.
Hopefully not, man. I was the guy selling T-shirts. I was trying to make some money. I wasn't doing nothing else, so.
For sure. So, being a street peddler, going to school, DJing, what was the city like at that time? Because you said that was in the 80s.
Yeah.
So what was the city like for DJing and, it seems like it was a window of opportunity in the 80s here in the city.
I feel like we all think that age, 14, 15 to 25 is like the prime time in our lives. And I think maybe I was saying it because I was that young, or maybe it was that time in Chicago. But the older I get, the more I think that was a special time, actually. It wasn't just because I was younger, Politically, you could kind of do what you wanted to do. Like, it's before, Daley got in office. You stayed all night long. Parties went till 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. They wouldn't shut nothing down. It was a sense of freedom in a way. So I think the sense of freedom, in a way, kind of bred a lot of artistic creativity. And so everyone, growing up, like, someone my age, you either had to be either a break dancer, you did graffiti, you rapped, or you DJ. So you kind of selected one. I couldn't dance, couldn't rap, I couldn't do art. So I'm like, I just love music, so I started DJing. So everybody was kind of doing something the same like. This is obviously pre-internet, pre-cell phone. So the attention was very much on the person. So the hustle, all that charisma that you had to have back then was real, So you had to have it because you couldn't hide behind no screen,
right?
And have followers. It wasn't there. You had to kind of come correct. So I think that actually made it a real special time.
I think you just gave a lot of people a lot of reasons to respect street peddlers now.
Man, I still that's
because I don't think a lot of people understood, like, for you doing that and actually. Like, I always respected. I got a lot of my bootlegs and DVDs, and shout out to Hustle Man on 55th at the Green Line. I don't know if he's still there, but
he's still there.
Oh,
I saw him last week. He's still there.
Oh, you know him?
I know, yeah.
The
truck and the little empty lot.
Listen, and I watched him go from inside the barbershop to outside in his van, his Astro van, to getting the real van, and then he got his license, and I was like, yo, dude,
at the end of the day, it's a business.
Right.
It's a business that you just happen to be outside. You know what I mean? But the same tenets you need to sell and to be successful is the same. In fact, even more so. You have to be disciplined. I would get up, and get there early. I have my table. I have my, my little linen on my table, make sure it was clean. I have my merchandise. I set it out real proper. I have my prices on there, whatever. How I was selling, hey, how you doing? But the thing about street peddling is when you're out in the streets, everybody walks past you, right? So you can't really dictate too much of who's walking past you. In the store, people actually coming to you.
Right.
So it's a different kind of energy. So you're going to get 100 people walk past and, man, get out of my face. You get to get used to rejection.
Right.
But if you stay consistent, hey, how you doing, brother, man? I got this bottle of water, blah, blah, then somebody go stop. And you just need that one person to stop and say, hey, this is a good value. Hey, I got this water, it's $1, blah, blah. All right, cool. Then, so that was it. So it was very humbling, but also taught me how to talk to all kind of people. Because I'm downtown Chicago Avenue a lot of times. So I'm talking to,
that was your spot. That was your spot.
That was my main spot, Rush Street, Chicago Avenue.
Oh, so you getting...
But at McDonald's over there. I was over there. This is back in the 80s, 90s I was over there. So, I learned how to talk to, like, the millionaires, the folks from the West Side, catching the red line, the students, the tourists, everybody. So street peddling taught me how to talk to everybody.
Right. Well, I wanted to ask, because I know you was going to school for finance. Was there anything that you applied from school and anything you applied from your hustle into each other?
Oh, for sure. Finance actually is really based on math. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of that was like math I was learning, but, just certain disciplines of money and like, long-term planning in the economy and just like learning about that side of it, then learning about the hustle side, so it kind of brought those two worlds together. So, I would say I probably did, I would say, am more hustle than I am, education and finance, because that was very specific. But that life lessons you learn on the street, I think are more important.
Oh, for sure. Look, man, we got Eric Williams in the building, right? From the Silver Room. I'm happy. I know y'all happy, but look, we finna get into some music. We gonna get back. Me and him finna talk off of air, but we gonna get back to y'all, let y'all in some of these conversations that we gonna have off air. Y'all don't go nowhere, man. Share it, comment, like, let y'all friends know, let y'all homies know that we live right here on iLLANOiZE Radio. Turn up with us.
Yo, what's up? It's your girl, Pretty Riot, and I need you to do one sminy. Yo, what's up? It's your girl, Pretty Riot, and I just need you to do one small favor for me. Head on over to your app store, search iLLANOiZE. Hit the first thing that pops up, because we the one and only, and download the iLLANOiZE app. Yo, what's up? It's your girl, Pretty Riot, and I'm sitting pretty, starting riots right here on iLLANOiZE Radio alongside my brothers, Illinois Jones, and Biko is MIA today. I don't know where he is, but he not here. But I know who is here. We have Eric Williams in the building. How you feeling, Eric?
I'm good.
I like when people do the sound effects.
Yeah, they do their own sound effect.
I love that. Okay, so before the break, I was listening. I was eavesdropping because I was fashionably late.
Okay.
And so you were kind of talking about like street peddling and things like that, and like your time with Freaknik. What did actually being in the field and actually having to like sell stuff hand to hand, like what did that teach you about actually being able to open a store later on down the line?
I mean, you have to work. So if you didn't sell something, then you weren't gonna make no money. So, I saw a direct correlation between the work you put in and what you get out of it. As many days I was tired, didn't feel like going, it'd be raining. You have to think in your head, okay, it's raining now, let me go get some umbrellas to sell. You know what I mean? So always kind of on this hustle, on this grind. But it taught me to be resilient, taught me to be, just to work hard.
Oh, so you were just picking random items and selling them. It wasn't just like one thing.
I sold whatever would make sense. I sold socks, 'cause everybody needs socks. Think about it. It's a good business.
Yeah.
Sunglasses, everybody going to have to see the sun. I sold peanuts at the Cubs games in the Wrigley Field. So I was selling stuff that people would buy, So if it was raining, I sold umbrellas, you know what I mean? So
what made you decide that I need a storefront?
Because I wasn't planning on doing it for a long time. Because I was in finance. I was gonna go back, and I actually had a job in finance. I quit. I said, okay, I'll just street peddle for a little bit until I figure something else out. And 1 year turned to 2 to 4. You know how that goes. Next thing you know, it was almost 10 years later, and I moved to Wicker Park in the early '90s, and it was a real cool neighborhood. It's like real diverse, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. And I met all these people, all these artists, all these poets, and it's like the Love Jones time, and it was like a real cool time, And so I had been selling stuff for 10 years, so I knew where to get T-shirts from, I knew where to get watches from. So I'm like, let me just take this inside now. So that's the reason why I did it.
Were you ever nervous? Like you said, you quit your job to street peddle. Was that like a nervous decision to make, or like that's a risk? That's a big risk.
Yeah, it's funny. I was telling somebody a story today. I mean, I wasn't nervous, but my mom was not happy because I had a finance degree.
Right.
I'm one of the few black people doing this. And she knew what I did for a living because, I was doing that to pay for college, so I was selling hats, blah, blah. So she figured that was something I would just do once I got the job, the real job, then I would quit. I said, Ma, I didn't tell her for like 2 months. So I was still like hustling, selling stuff on the streets, And then she was like, I said, I quit my job. She was like, what? Are you crying? What you doing, boy? You got a degree, blah, blah. I'm like, man, I don't want to do it. I want to do something else. I don't know what that is yet, but I don't want to not be happy. And I figured I'd do it for, again, couple months or a year. Next thing I know, I did it for a long time. But I was never nervous because I knew I could hustle. I could, the skill of selling is the best skill you can have because you're always selling.
Right.
You're selling yourself. You're selling, an idea. You're selling, you're pitching. They call it pitching now. We just call it selling. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm like, if I could sell stocks, I can sell T-shirts. I can sell socks.
So I want to ask you a question about sales because I used to work in sales. I work at Yelp. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like sales is only easy when it's a product you believe in? Because I struggled. Because I'm like, you finessing these people with these ads.
That's a really good point, and I definitely think it's something to it. Like the stuff that I sold, even if I was selling, for example, the umbrella. It's raining. I'm selling something you need. So, I try and find good products. I mean, now it's different. I have a really nice store, but I try and find products that I love. I try and find people who make the products I really like, so you feel really good about what you're selling. So, yeah, in general, I don't like just doing something just to be doing it. I like to have pride in what I do.
I think listening to you just in these couple of minutes and speaking on hustling, I know a lot of people depend on their jobs, their careers.
Yeah.
You depended on your hustle.
Yeah, and I was living really, really frugal, and I still live very frugal. Honestly, I'm not some dude go out and buy, fancy car, and because I'm like, let me just make this money, let me save, because I never forget, we were out selling. This is back in the late '80s, and it was packed downtown. So downtown used to be where everybody would go downtown and drive down Rush Street. And I was hustling, and it was like getting kind of late, and we were at the McDonald's downtown. He used to sell balloons and all kind of stuff. And I was gonna go home. I'm like, man, I'm about to go home. He goes, man, like, these people out here, you should make this money while these people are here. Because at some point, when it gets cold out, you have nobody to sell to. Yeah. I'm like, nah, man, I'm about to go home. And he would just work as hard as he could during the summer. And sure enough, January came, and it was like I wasn't making no money. I'm like, man, the dude is right. You got to make it when you can. There's only certain seasons to be successful sometimes. You got to take advantage of it when you had the time. So that was a lesson I learned for sure.
What's like opening up your first store in Wicker Park, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What was it like, that feeling you was having as you was going through that process?
I never been really nervous, like what people would say taking risks. I just never really felt that. I'm like, if it don't work, it don't work. I'm not gonna like not do something I think could work. And so that's kind of my approach to it. So I didn't have a lot of money. I think I had $7,000 to do the whole entire store. That was including my first month's rent. So I had no money basically. So I'm trying to do and paint myself and going to buy jewelry, blah, blah. It was just more like this thing of like, this is gonna work. I have a good idea, it's gonna make sense, but you have to have patience. And I knew, I've always known a lot of people. Everyone knew. I called up, hey, I'm having a store opening, come by. Everybody knew. And then the store, the first day, people came by, started buying stuff, and then I made a little bit of money, went back and bought some more stuff, and 25 years later, man, here I am. So
that's 25 years later. It's like
That's almost as old as me.
And that's how long you've been doing the block parties too as well.
No, the store opened in '97. The block party started in 2002. So the block party was really like a customer appreciation party kind of. So I had the store, then like, okay, I know you can rap and you can DJ and you can paint. So hey, let's have an event together. So it was more like the people I knew were doing it with me, kind of. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like I paid anybody or it was no money really involved because we just kind of just did our own event, like in a parking lot, for example.
Right.
So that's kind of how it started. And then the next year we did it, and hey man, I got a friend that can also DJ. And next thing you know, people start coming, and the next thing you know, because it was free. It was free meaning like it didn't really cost me a bunch of money. It cost me maybe $500, Then every year people started coming. Then I had to get porta potties. Then I had to get more generators. Then I had to get bigger stages. Then I got to get security. So every year it got bigger. It started to cost a lot more money to a point where last year it was like $1.5 million it cost. It started at $500. So people will say, "Oh, it got busier. It used to be free, but it was never free for me. I was just paying for a party. It's like if I have a party for y'all, okay, I can go get y'all some food, no big deal. But imagine if it was 300 of y'all. It's a different story.
Yeah.
So people don't really think of it that way. It was like, okay, I was doing it because it wasn't scaled so much where I couldn't afford to pay for a party for 40,000 people. What happened in Wicker Park? I'm sorry, in Hyde Park. It was 40,000 people came. And it was still free, but I was trying to figure out ways to pay for it, meaning, we had vendors, we charged vendors some money. We had some sponsors here and there, but, it just didn't, meet the, the total cost. And that came out of my pocket.
Damn, 40,000 people in Hyde Park.
Yeah.
And you had them out there.
It was packed, man. It was packed.
Hoo-wee. Like, to see that, like, what kind of gratification did that give you? Because this is all word of mouth before social media was even a thing. Yeah. That you were seeing these, like, the numbers go up every year.
I mean, it was gratifying, especially like the first years in Wicker Park, because you're right, it was no internet. I mean, we had some little flyers, which I still make flyers, old school, and it was word of mouth. So it was like very like something for our community. Yeah. It was like a neighborhood event, basically.
Right.
So speaking of community, because that was actually something that I was going to ask, how do you feel like you actually gained the trust of your community over the years for them to continuously keep coming out and shopping with you, coming to your events, and like actually helping the block party grow?
Consistency, it's a good question. I mean, I was always consistent. It was not about, even now people say, well, who's a headliner? It was never really about having a headliner. It was about having like just, these undiscovered artists, really diverse. We have hip hop, jazz, reggae, Latin music, house music. So it was always like different people coming together. That was kind of the point, was to bring different communities together. Because sometimes we kind of silo. Like I have my hip hop friends. I mean, y'all probably do too.
Right.
Then I have my other friends who do this other thing. I have my other friends who into sports, but they kind of like don't hang out with one another.
So you just brought them all
So I'm
together.
like, okay, I'll have something for my friends who like sports. They'll come. My hip hop heads will come, and then they'll come together. So it makes it super diverse. So I think that was like the magic of it. That it was always something different, and like new talent that people didn't even know half these people. So it wasn't about having like the biggest name. It was about having like this really kind of cool vibe.
That's dope. That's dope. You had like a real big networking event. That's what it would sound like.
That's what happened. I mean, again, it kept doubling every year. Say we started, it was probably 100 people. Then next 500, then 1,000, and 5,000, and 8 and 10. It just kind of just every year, because it was so much fun that people would tell their friends, and it was free. So people were like, oh shit, this is a great event. I'm gonna tell my boys about it. Then probably by year 10, people were flying in. Oh, I'm flew in from New York. Oh, for real? Because I'm like, oh, people starting to hear about this event now.
Yeah. So like, what's something about the block party that you enjoy the most?
Honestly, I enjoyed the kids. And I think people don't think about it if they come at night. It's a big party. But during the day is like kids. It's for families, you know what I mean? So, my daughter used to be out there and the kids playing and, them just having a good time. Like, that was the whole point. It was a block party. Like, when we were kids, you just go out and play and, your auntie's over there cooking something in the corner, So just seeing people having a good time and feeling safe and being their authentic selves is like, for me, that's the most fun. Then at the end of the night, everybody dancing, having a good time is cool too. But I think more importantly, it's like just the people coming together and reunite. Hey, girl, I ain't seen you in a long time. You see the girls jumping double dutch. Like I know they out of breath. They ain't jumped double dutch in 15 years. Now they, but they having fun. You know what I mean? It's like having a space people can have fun is to me most gratifying.
Yo, what's up? It's your girl, Pretty Riot, and I'm sitting pretty starting riots right here on iLLANOiZE Radio. And every single week, you come and you watch these great interviews, and you still ain't subscribed. What are you doing? Hit the subscribe button and turn the notification bell on too.
Yo, we still got Eric Williams in the building. I got you. Look. I see that's your favorite drop as a DJ, huh?
That's old school.
So we was talking about the block party, and during the break, you was talking about like one of the hardest parts of getting sponsorships and getting donations.
Yeah.
For those that don't understand to the process of that, what is it like for somebody to what do you have to have in order to take the people to get like a sponsorship?
Well, okay, so two things. So sponsors from corporate, right, or whoever wants to have their brand in front of you, they want to see numbers, okay? So you kind of base this number on the number of people that you can provide for them, either online or in person. So you'll say, okay, well, for $10,000, we're going to have, this many impressions. This many people will be there, blah, blah. So all they're thinking about is, I'm going to put my brand in front of these people, and so this has a certain value to me. Because the way you think about it is, if I'm gonna have 10,000 people, say at an event, right, and I'm giving you $10,000, and my product costs $1, I need to sell one every single person, whoever it is. You know what I'm saying? So you have to prove to the sponsors that you have the right kind of crowd. Number one, not just the numbers. Who are these people? The demographics. How much money they make? Are they college educated? Are they black or white or whatever you're trying to sell to? You know what I mean? So you have to have that, and you have to have those numbers to say, hey, look, we have proof that here's what we've been doing. And so that takes money and time to put that together. And then they'll say, okay, cool, here's what we want. We want this many tickets. We want a tent this size, all this stuff. I mean, it's a lot of work that goes into that. Luckily, because I've been around for 25 years, people know the brand, so we were able to get some sponsors, but it's not an easy thing to do. Mm-hmm. And the other side of it, with the tickets, I mean, because this event was a free event, meaning I was paying for it, folks got used to it not paying. And then I'm like, well, I can't do this event anymore because I can't afford to throw a free party for 40,000 people. Right. You have to kind of chip in and help me out, is how I see it. It's like, man, I got 5 on it, right? Whatever you're going to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you're having a party, hey, everybody bring something. It's like potluck, okay? Right. I'll provide the house, the music, y'all bring the food. Then it's like, I'll provide the house and the music, but we ain't bringing no food. Folks don't want to be involved. So that's kind of what started to happen a little bit,
What's some of the things like as the party got bigger, as the block parties got bigger? What have you ever ran across any like red tape from the city?
Honestly, man, the city is the red tape in general, but it honestly hasn't been that bad because, again, I think because they know me just through the Silver Room and now Bronzeville Winery, my other restaurant, they know me, so they kind of know what I do, so they trust me. You know what I mean? So you have to do certain paperwork, all that kind of stuff, but the city hasn't been the biggest issue. To be honest with you, it's been like the people in many ways. If I'm quite honest, the city in some ways been supportive of me.
So I actually have a question. Just considering like how much the block party has grown over the years and then like just festivals in general, do you feel like there's some sort of pressure to like keep up with like what the festivals that come to the city are offering opposed to just like keeping it simple and just like keeping it like the block party, like you said originally, just having vendors and kids outside and stuff like that?
Some good questions. I like you.
Thank you.
No, it's funny you said that. That's something that I think about a lot. And so the reason is because when it was free, nobody ever asked who was performing, right? You just came, you showed up. Now it's a price tag. People are going to say, well, who am I getting for this? So as the prices go up because you got porta potty, security, gates, licenses, insurance, those costs add up. Now you got to charge. Now people want to see the value. Because if it's like, okay, I'm going to pay $50, well, who are these people? I don't know these people, blah, blah. Well, if it was free, you just show up, you know what I mean?
Right.
So now you have to kind of up the game, like I was saying, like Lil' Kim. Okay, well, to justify this ticket price, I got to get a name. And these names cost a ton of money. So now you kind of like just, okay, now I got to get J. Cole. Not that I can afford J. Cole. But you know what I'm saying? So now if I had something like that, these people would pay. So it kind of moves away from this event where a block party, you just went out and had a good time, to this festival. Well, I want to see who's going to be there and see what I'm getting for my money. So it's just a different mindset.
So do you think like in the future, because I know I saw something about like this year being the last year, breaks my heart. Do you think like, I don't know, maybe like 2 years, 3 years down the line, like we'll get something similar to the block party? Like maybe not as to the capacity, because I just feel like, if I'm being honest, I feel like the city gonna miss something longer having the block party. So it's like, you think like maybe we just, not we, but like you and your team just kind of scrap it and then like we try something else? Or like, is there any hope that it may come back just refined and better?
Yeah, I mean, it's another good question. I mean, I never say never, but right now I say no. I need to like focus. I have a 14-year-old daughter. She's going to high school next year. I have 3 businesses, and I'm time for myself. So the amount of work that goes into it is just too much for right now. But who knows? But we'll give it a break.
That's your baby, man.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was going. I didn't know the block parties was going on for so long. I thought it was something new when I was an intern in the early 2012, 13. I thought it was just something that was just popping off. I'm like, oh no. And then I saw like 20-something years.
It was on the north side. Well, the Silver Room has been open for 25 years. Right. The block party was 18, but the first 12 were on the north side. So a lot of people, the city's so
so big
that a lot of people on the south side didn't even know about it on the north side. So when I came to south, people were like, oh man, what is this? I'm like, well, I've been doing this for 12 years actually on the north side. So some people on the south side felt like it was like this little secret, little gem. Because, the city is, north side is white, south side is black. But the block party was actually started off, it was more non-black people than it was black people. People don't realize that. I have photos. The first year was white, Asian, Latino, Puerto Rican. And it was like maybe 30% black. But over the years, it kind of got more and more. Then it moved to the south side, became like, not all black, but predominantly black. But it didn't start that way, actually.
How many locations have you been to?
Well, 3 technically. So 4 technically. One in a little small alley in Wicker Park. Then I moved down the street to another street in Wicker Park. Then I moved to Hyde Park on Harper and Harper Court. Then I moved down further to Blackstone. Then we moved down to Dorchester. It just kept kind of getting bigger. And then we've been on the beach. We did the beach, lakefront last year, and it's second year on lakefront. So
I know you mentioned a couple other businesses that you have as well. What other business do you have?
Bronzeville Winery is a new spot. It's a wine bar. I don't know if you like wine or not. It's in Bronzeville. It's really nice. 44th and Cottage Grove. Same thing. I want to do something for the neighborhood that we can go to a nice restaurant like you would go to downtown. Because we always go downtown. I'm like, why are we going downtown? Let me put something in Wicker Park. I'm sorry, in Bronzeville. Right. That's the same quality, So it's really good menu. Dope wine. Like, this is a really good vibe. So that's my newest venture. Of course, the Silver Room is 25 years old, so that's still got to keep going strong, And we do a lot of events with the Silver Room. We do a story night. We have art openings. We have listening parties. We have book signings. It's always something going on over there. And then I consult and I mentor folks who start businesses too.
So that was that your plan when you opened up the winery? Was like because it's different from the store, the Silver Room store. It's more food, wine, relax and chill. Like, was that the plan or something that you wanted to do?
The way I looked at it is like it was like a grown up version of Silver Room. So it's like when you would go shopping, and then if you like went home and changed your clothes and you wanted to go out, you would go to this space. So it's like, okay, this is a real cool retail environment. Now I'm gonna go out and like kind of get dressed up a little bit and kind of hang out. So, but if you know the Silver Room and you go in there, you could feel like, okay, these are similar in some ways. They have something in common.
For sure. I know I was listening to an interview of you and you just mentioned story time. Y'all had something called adult story time.
Grown folk story.
Grown folk story.
That's been going on for us 14 years. Another long-term thing.
Like what? Like, could you explain to the people what that is?
Basically, so there's story nights that started before we started this one, but most of them were like not black storytelling. The art of storytelling was mostly like a white genre. And it was kind of like, so how you doing? So last night I came home from work. Just kind of like a little corny. So I wanted to start something that was really like us telling stories, because we are storytellers. We're like, it's like a griot. Like your cousin always telling you some stories. You got some in your family.
I was about to say that's also, I think, like what like the black community is kind of missing, especially like with social media and how it's evolving and them literally kind of just trying to erase our history in some states. Like, it's going to take for us to be storytellers and passing tradition and culture down through word of mouth. So
exactly.
I'm with you.
So that we do once a month, and it's just that, it's just sharing stories, the true stories. And it could be funny, it could be sad. I've heard them all.
Have you ever shared one?
You know what? It gets so crowded. I don't like to do it because I'd rather have the people come. But I've told some stories. I've told over 14 years of us. I've probably told 6-7 stories.
Oh man, I gotta
you come down. It's fun. It's funny. It's funny. We heard. I mean, they're all over the place. Yeah. So
for sure. We gonna keep you for a little longer.
No worries. No, I'm all good.
For sure.
We out here in the suburbs, man. So all good. So.
Look, we got Eric Williams in the building, man. Y'all.
Yo, do us a favor and yourself a favor by hitting that subscribe button. Make sure to tap that notification bell as well so you can stay updated. Now let's get to the video.
Yo, what's up? It's your girl Pretty Riot, and you already know I'm live on iLLANOiZE Radio. I got my brother Jones in the building, and we got Eric Williams from Silver Room in the building. So before the break, we were talking about your multiple business endeavors. And one thing I want to say, it's not so much a question, but I could say I can appreciate you for putting the winery in Bronzeville, considering like the history of that area. Like, Bronzeville is such a historic neighborhood that I love to see it lined with black businesses, and I just hope that keeps happening for us.
Me too.
So I appreciate you for opening something up in that area. Like, I think it really needed it, and it still gives it that, what's the word I want to say?
Aesthetic.
No. I was finna say
something bigger.
Yeah, like not aesthetic, but it still gives like a very. I feel home there. Like Bronzeville and Hyde Park are probably two of my favorite parts of the city because as a black person, I just feel home.
Yeah.
So it feels homey. I don't know.
You probably feel the history of the neighborhood is you can still feel it for sure.
What's one of your favorite things about those two areas that you enjoy the most?
The history of Bronzeville, and my grandmother, when she migrated from Mississippi in 1924, they moved to Bronzeville. Before it was even called Bronzeville, it was called something else. I can't remember what it was called.
Man.
But that's when my family actually moved to, before they moved out to Robbins. And then just the music, the history of all the people who's come through there, and like all the nightclubs. She told me stories. She lived to be 103 years old. So she told me all the stories. Yeah, like the nightclubs and just like how everybody would dress. People dress up back in the day. They wear their hats and suits, and it's like this Harlem kind of vibe in Bronzeville.
Yeah, I was watching Quincy Jones documentary one time, and he was going into like, cause I didn't know he was from Chicago,
exactly,
and he was just talking about the nightlife of Chicago and of him being an instrument player and doing that stuff, and he was just talking about the clothes, the clothes that people wear, the fashion.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm sorry. Hyde Park is just a really diverse neighborhood. It's of course University of Chicago is there, but you got like you see like a lot of young kids there. Teens coming from Kenwood High School, and the older folks who lived in the neighborhood for a long time. So it's just really a good mix of people,
right?
And everybody's always seems happy. Hyde Park.
I think one thing about Hyde Park, I guess it's like I call it like the black downtown.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like that's when you see, like, you see us like strolling down, like how some people stroll down Michigan Avenue. You can see somebody strolling up and down
for
Lake.
sure.
You know what I mean? Just walking into what's the stores, Zara's or what's that? I don't know.
Akira?
Akira's. Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
I don't know about it. I
Yeah.
don't go in there, so I don't know about it.
Yeah.
But I know I just see them strolling. Then the Starbucks right across the street, strolling up and down. What's something like that you feel like keeping you motivated in? Because you keep opening up these storefronts, these businesses in these communities. Like, what's something that keeps you going to these communities? Because you could have went back up north. You could have went back. You could have opened up something in Robinson.
Yeah.
But instead, Robbins. But you came back to the South Side, Hyde Park, Bronzeville area.
Just because the impact of it, you know what I mean? Like, honestly, would never do another business on the North Side. I mean, again, never say never, but highly unlikely. You know, it's more impactful to do it on the South Side where people really appreciate it. Because, again, like, there was nothing over on 44th and Cottage Grove like this. And people just like, oh, I live on Drexel. Now me and my husband can go out and have dinner and get dressed up and we can walk home.
What's the actual address to the winery?
4420 South Cottage Grove.
Is there a dress code?
No. I mean, people, there's no dress code, but people should dress up. Yeah.
Okay, because one thing you were talking about, like with the fashion and the Renaissance, okay, because I feel like Chicago is like in a Renaissance era right now, personally, and I know like with nightlife specifically, and even some restaurants, they've been enforcing dress codes, and like people are pushing back, and I just feel like, what's the problem with black folks dressing nice? So I was asking that to see if like, because I know like some people want to create a culture in their spaces, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. So if you want everybody to look nice, you want everybody to look nice.
Yeah, again, you guys have some good questions over here. I think about that too, because I think sometimes, a dress code is made to have people look a certain way. But from a business standpoint, they're really doing it in a way to kind of keep certain people out. So if you wear a hoodie or you got on sportswear, what are you really saying about? You're really talking about a certain kind of person you want to keep out. Right. It's racist a lot of times, or it's an ageist thing. We don't want like these young people coming. You know what I mean? So if we say you wear a tuxedo, you know what I'm saying? So it's a way to kind of eliminate certain people. To me, I never like dress codes. You know what I mean? I'll set something up. I'll play certain kind of music, certain kind of ambiance, and the people will adjust to the space as opposed to me trying to create this artificial way of them being because they happen to wear a certain kind of clothes. You still might be on some,
right?
Just dressed up on some stuff. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. No matter what it looked like, it could be that.
I've had people come to the store, and this one guy came in. He's from the West Side, and he was just hoodie, and that's not how people dress in there. He came in, he was like, man, if I had known this place was like this, I would have dressed up, So even this dude he was a street dude in a way, he kind of felt like, okay, I should actually elevate how I look because the space is not like that. So I feel like the space would kind of like self-correct itself. That you don't tell somebody to dress a certain way. You just kind of know, okay, cool. Let me look at the ambiance of the space. It's really beautiful. I want to wear something different.
I want to dress
up for. Exactly. It's
okay,
more about the person wanting to look a certain way. In fact, I'm going to go there tonight after I leave. I'm going to go home and change clothes. I could, I don't have to, but I'm like, okay.
You want to just look the part.
Right, exactly. It's like, okay, you want to feel good about yourself. We all dress a certain way. It makes you feel a certain way, so.
What's your favorite thing to order off the menu in the winery?
Man, we have mac and cheese is really good. Salmon we have is really good. That's something I ordered tonight. We have the salmon and pasta thing that I order a lot. I like salads, honestly, believe it. I'm not even a big wine drinker, but we have a wine called Aslina from South Africa. She was the first black female South African winemaker. So she actually flew to Chicago, and we had hosted a dinner with her. Dwayne Wade, who's from Robbins, we carry his wine. So he came and did a talk a couple of weeks ago. So that was kind of cool because he grew up 4 blocks from where I grew up.
Oh man!
And Kiki Palmer lived across the street from us.
I went to school with Kiki Palmer.
So
I went to St. Benedict's.
Okay, so her mom went to Shepherd. So her mom, her mother. Her name is Sharon. Sharon and Karen. They were twins. They were friends with my sister. Anyway, Dwayne Wade's from Robbins, and we carry his wine too.
For sure. I gotta taste. You know what? I'm gonna come there just to taste the Wade wine.
It's called Wade Cellars
because I never had it before.
It's good. It's good.
I'm a Wade fan.
Yeah. So I think about 70% of our wines are either women or black or minority owned wines and liquors. We have black beers. What's the one called?
Got some John Basil.
Moore's beer. A Funky
That's
Town,
tequila.
Roy, what's it called?
The John Basil tequila.
I think we do have that.
John Basil. He black on too.
It's funny. I think we do. It's funny. I just saw his name today. Yep. Look at you. Okay, you're on top of it.
Yeah, baby, I know about some tequila.
But that was really important that we have like black-owned brands in the space.
That's dope. Y'all got black women that create wines in there. That's pretty dope. That's pretty amazing.
Oh yeah.
Damn, we got John Basil too. He playing around.
Look, she ain't.
She
Look,
knows-
look.
Hey, it's the alignment.
I'm taking her with me. She knows what she's talking about.
Look, take her.
She on top of her stuff.
That's the riot.
We got John Basil.
Yeah, no, see, that's
For
dope.
sure.
Playing around.
Man, that'll have you down. Listen,
Okay.
that'll have you turned up.
So they're one of our block party sponsors too. Actually.
Oh, word.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's, I love that.
just as of today. Cool.
Well, shout out to them and congratulations. I got you. Give it some clue bombs. Get you some bombs too
Okay,
up in there. Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
for sure.
That's, you sound like a bomb.
Look, the 18th annual Silver Room Block Party. Yes, the 18th annual, and it's gonna be a long time before we get the 19th and the 20th.
Yeah, man. Take a little break.
Saturday, July 29th, July 30th, Sunday, noon to 10 p.m. Oakwood Beach, Chicago. Tickets are on sale now. You can go to www.silverroomblockparty.com to get all your information. I would put this up there so y'all can scan the code, but I don't know if it'll work. You know, he got a lot of dope artists that's been in this same seat. He got Jeff Koons, Freddie Oso. He got Mick Jenkins performing. He got Ninth Wonder in the building. And a lot of dope other artists. Man, this is going to be a dope show Saturday and Sunday. Y'all need to get there or be square. Get y'all tickets, man, again at the silverroomblockparty.com. Hey, listen. I might call off Saturday.
Let's do that. Come on,
What
man.
you gonna
Let's have
call
some fun.
off? How about we just all go together?
Exactly.
How about we just go? Can we come live? Can we do a live show?
Let's do it.
Can we
Let's
set
do
up a live broadcasting?
Yeah, make it happen. It'll be loud, but make it happen.
I mean, it's cool.
Hey,
we
we
got
got
the
great
mics.
mics.
We got
Okay.
great mics that can muffle out the sound.
okay.
All right, listen. I'm going to my first party. I'm going to my first block party. Anything that we need to be looking out for, that you got something that the world need to be preparing for, that you got coming?
You know, man, the block party is I'm very proud of it. It's something that was a lot of fun for all these years, and it's a celebration of, you know, culture, and you know, the last few years really people on the South Side really kind of embraced it. So come out, have a good time, have fun, dance, you know, bring your family, bring your kids, bring your grandmama. Everybody can come out, have a good time, you know. So just support black business in general. I mean, we need to understand that support doesn't mean just showing up. Support means spending money. You know, even when you're friends. I mean, a lot of times, it's my boy, I'm on the list. Man, still pay. If that's your friend, you need to support them. I do it all the time. I got you on the list, E. I'll still go and pay. So I will leave y'all with that. Like, support means like with your dollars. You know what I mean?
Damn, that's deep.
Especially with inflation, he ain't lying.
Exactly.
So I used to say support is free, and it is, but put a 99 on the end of that.
Yeah, you something. $5, 10, 20, 30. Because you go other places to spend money, right? All the
Right.
time.
And don't complain about it too.
No, at all.
So you might as well go drop a little piece of change for your homies and show love, but show love to everybody. That's, you know, for sure. Pretty Riot, you got anything you want to say?
Hi guys, I'm Pretty Riot, and thank you for coming to my TED Talk today. No, I'm just playing. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Pretty Riot. Y'all, I got some poetry coming out, and it's actually already recorded, and like literally, I can't even tell you like it's gonna be big. That's it. So just follow me. Be looking out. Yeah, I'll be outside. I'll be inside. I'll be everywhere. Jones, what you on?
I'm on life. I'm on life, and y'all can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at iLLANOiZE88. I don't like y'all that much to get on my Facebook and Snapchat, but y'all can go download that iLLANOiZE app, or y'all can just go to illinois.co. Make sure you download the app on your Apple phone, your Android, your Obama phone, or your baby mama or baby daddy phone. No matter what, just make sure somebody got that app on a phone. Look, Chicago, July 28th.
Oh, okay. I was
is
finna
going,
do the same thing.
Oh.
I was finna say before you exit, don't forget.
July 28th is going down at the Promontory. Man, Asar, you're going to be hosting.
Yes.
Oh!
Would you like me to talk about it a little bit?
Yes, talk about it. You hosting.
All right, so as y'all know, Asar is finally dropping his project. If you are a fan like me, I've been waiting since before the pandemic for him to drop this album. And it's finally coming out. He is dropping his album, I Know Now, and I will be hosting at Promontory for the listening party. So them RSVPs,
They sold out one
y'all
time.
ran them up,
So we had to put another batch.
and y'all are still running them up. Okay? So, I mean, if you hear this and if you ain't clicked the link in my bio to get your free RSVP, you're tweaking. But do it now. And I'll see you Friday next week. And be on time. And I'm talking to myself. Be on time, not CP time, okay? God bless you.
If everybody coming, I'm giving out shots.
Shots on Jones.
Shots of water on Jones. You heard me? I got everybody. Open bar. You hear me? But now, Chicago, it's not raining on the south side, but I heard it's raining up north. And only thing the rain stop us from doing is the dash. So I need y'all to do me a few favors.
What's that?
Party hard, party safe. And if you can't do both, stay your ass in the house. Yeah. Peace out. Shout out to Bigo, wherever you at.
Adios.